Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 4th council meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 9:30, and members of the public are invited to participate in this meeting of council by attending, the meeting in person at Ilderton Community Centre located at 13168 Ilderton Road. Or public may also access the meeting, which will be live streamed on our Middlesex Centre YouTube channel, or by contacting the clerk to receive a registration link to join the meeting electronically. Just before we get started, I do have a couple of remarks to make. Many of you will have already seen the announcement on our website and in today's agenda that Councillor Debbie Heffernan has resigned the Middlesex Centre Council, and therefore the seat for Ward 1 is being vacated. Debbie has always been involved in her community and has a history of putting her hand up when volunteers are needed, including, for example, her work as a volunteer with the Ilderton Agricultural Society. In her role as councillor, Debbie was also a volunteer and was instrumental in organizing the first Middlesex Women's Leadership Conference in 2023, and her continued efforts are appreciated as we approach the date for our second event later this month. She was also a municipal representative on the Upper Thames River Conservation Authority Board and recently volunteered to sit on our newly constituted Economic Development Advisory Committee, which held its inaugural meeting just in July. Many of you will also know that she worked for CIBC, including the Ilderton branch. And when the closing of that branch was announced, she was the one who jumped in to ask questions about the closing process and what the impact would be on our residents. On behalf of Middlesex Centre Council and staff, I would like to extend heartfelt thanks to our departing councillor for her service for the last 6 years. We will always appreciate your contributions and insights, and we wish you the very best in the years ahead, Debbie. So thank you very much. Also, on behalf of council, I'd like to congratulate Greg Vanderveit on the successful completion of his Certified Road Supervisor Intermediate level. This is the third of 4 levels of certification, which involve the achievement of both a mandatory education and experience criteria. It's always great to see our staff working hard to ensure their professional abilities are top-notch, because this ultimately means that we are able to make the best decisions and provide the very best service to our residents. So congratulations to Greg, and best wishes as you work to complete level 4 and the requirements for your senior designation. So that's everything on the impromptu agenda. I will now proceed with the land acknowledgement. The municipality of Middlesex Centre recognizes that we are gathering on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Lenape peoples. We acknowledge the enduring presence of First Nation, Métis, and Inuit people on this land and are committed to moving forward in the spirit of reconciliation and respect. Our neighboring First Nations communities, which continue to live as sovereign nations, include the Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, Oneida Nation of the Thames, and Munsee Delaware Nation. Moving on to the agenda, there are additions for the September 4th council agenda. So I will look to council. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest that you need to note with respect to today's agenda? Alrighty, seeing none. Is there a delegation here? Okay. Our delegation from Lower Thames has not yet signed in, so we can move to the adoption of the minutes. The motion that is before us here is that the minutes of the Middlesex Centre Council meeting held on August 7th, 2024 be adopted as printed. Councillor Bruce and Councillor Case, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. We can move on to the consent agenda. There are 7 items listed here. Sorry. Is there anything that anyone wants to raise for discussion? Councillor Cates, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Through you, I just wanted to acknowledge the report and the bylaw report. I always find it interesting to look at the numbers and see where things are. So thank you.
Is there anything else? Seeing none, then in that case, we have a motion before us that consent items 7.1 through 7.7 as 6 that are listed on the September 4th, 2024 agenda be adopted as recommended. Councillor Shipley and Councillor Arts, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, so we're continuing with staff reports. The councillor vacancy, which is item 8.1. I'll look to the clerk.
Thank you, and through the chair. The report before you today is recommending declaring the Ward 1 council seat vacant as a result of the recent resignation of the incumbent ward councillor. A resolution formally declaring the seat vacant is a standard process C, and it's a legal requirement when such a scenario arises for a municipality in Ontario. So following today's declaration, I'll proceed to prepare and bring forward a staff report that will detail the options to fill this vacant seat. This report will be delivered at the upcoming September 18th meeting, at which staff will request direction from council as to how they wish to proceed to fill the vacant seat based on the options that are available to them. I'm going to leave it at that for today, but I am open if there's any questions respecting the process from members. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that report, James. Councillor, is there anything you'd like clarification on at this point? No questions. Okay, in that case, we have a motion before us that report CLK 05-2024 regarding Ward 1 council vacancy be received, and that council declares the office of Ward 1 councillor vacant due to the resignation of Ward 1 councillor Debbie Heffernan, and further that the municipal clerk be directed to bring a report regarding methods to fill the vacant Ward 1 councillor seat to the September 18th, 2024 council meeting. Do I have a mover, please? Councillor Deputy Mayor Brennan, Councillor Cates, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay. Move on to correspondence. Okay. Okay, so the delegation is still not here. We can move on to correspondence. There is only one item here. Is there anything anybody wants to ask, or? In that case, there is a motion oh, sorry, go ahead, Councillor.
As I didn't press the button. Yeah, as the representative for Kettle Creek, they were just donated this property a while ago. It's been a good year. There's been 2 or 3 property donations for Kettle Creek, and then the problem is getting the money to do something with the properties. So I'll be in attendance at that. So if you want to come right ahead and wear your boots. Okay, see you later.
Thank you for that. Then the motion before us is that the council for the municipality of Middlesex Centre receives correspondence item 10.1 as information. Councillor Burrs and Councillor Cates, all in favor? And that is carried. Here. Sorry. Okay, so just before we move onto the item, do you have an update? We don't have an update. August? Okay, go ahead.
Last county council meeting was August the 13th. Service performance report. There's 300. We have 300. We traveled 2.3 million calls in a year, 200 million calls per day, 50,000 life-threatening calls over the course of the year. Response time for code 4 calls was 10.55 minutes. Middlesex 7 code 4 calls totaled 1,462. That's about a little over $2 million for the county. The PSA service provider Strathroy will take over September the 10th, starting at we'll go directly to the Strathroy instead of Strathroy. Through for the extension reservations cost of $686,000. Traditional construction got that contract.
$1,000 before taxes goes to GHM Group. Budget clearance report was received. Shelter solution for support services. Assistant, submitting a grant application for $146,000. First, 73 people helped. 6 calendar education, is also received. Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Is there anything that anyone would like to ask? Councillor Bruce?
Through to our deputy mayor. Can you comment, how are things going with land ambulance at the hospitals, the wait time? Is that sort of under control or not?
Yeah, through several different programs, the on-service nurse that triages the things does come in. She is there full time now. She used to get pulled away, but she doesn't get pulled away anymore. They've also started a paramedic service where on a code 4 call, a paramedic in an SUV will respond and get there first. Decide if it is a code 4 call or not, and if that ambulance can be redirected if it's not required as a full code 4 call. So there's several different programs that have been initiated at this time. The offload ambulance in London is better. There's not enough backup. There is a bit of a problem at Straths Road District Hospital now. And that is being looked at. Funding is being sought for an offload nurse there also to try to alleviate that. But as right now, the offload problem isn't as critical as it was in the past. There are a lot less ambulances being tied up. But we are working with the hospitals and the city of London to try to maintain that and have it not go back the other way.
Is there anything else? Okay, well, thank you for that report then. The Thames Valley group is coming. We have a detour. This is the problem when you have locations scattered all over the municipality. So we're going to take a 5 to 10 minute recess. They will come then and we will do the presentation. And after that, we'll follow the agenda as planned. Okay, so take 5 or 10.